Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to my garage. The weather's rubbish outside today. We've been battered overnight with Storm Aisha. Although at the moment the sun seems to have came out, but it's still horrible outside. The bikes are all tucked up, even the cars in the garage. It doesn't want to go out and play. They're all tucked up, nice and cosy. The car's in, the wee bike's sitting there as well. It gets to sit beside the heater. It gets a wee bit of heat now and again. They're spoiled. They're all spoiled. So I thought we would actually do something a wee bit different. For a while, some people have been asking me what kind of camera gear and stuff I use and why I use it. So I thought, yeah, I'll take this opportunity, since the weather's bad, to go indoors and we'll just talk about the camera gear I use and why I use it. So let's go. Let's go in and get out of the cold garage. So basically we've come indoors and let's see what we can talk about. Well, for many years I've actually used drift cameras. This is the very first one I actually bought. So they're one of my original ones. At that time I had a built-in battery, but you could buy this additional battery which you could put in as well. It was a great wee camera. It lasted me for a long time. But then it moved on, and the current cameras I've been using for a wee while have been the Drift Ghost XL, which they've been great wee cameras. What I like about them is basically the battery life. The battery's built in, you can't remove the battery from this at all. The battery can last up to 6-7 hours constant recording. So potentially you can go out for the day on the bike and the camera will record the whole time. It's been a great wee camera. It has its advantages. If you open up the wee cover, there's an SD slot and a charging port as well in here for a micro USB connection. It's got another wee screw that can be removed in here, and I've got actually two of these cameras, and if you remove the screw you can attach this wee lead here as well, so you can attach a microphone. The camera itself is waterproof. The coupling here, which goes into the mounts, can be rotated and right full 360 degrees, so you can position the camera in any angle you want. The other great thing about it is the lens rotates, so you can actually position the lens as well, so you can get the camera into multiple positions and still have the image on a horizontal plane. There's controls on the top for basically starting the camera and working through the various menus. I'm not going to go into the workings of the camera as such, but they are pretty much waterproof, although I've never tried them underwater. So yeah, they've been good cameras. They've worked really quite well, the two of them. I used to have three of them. If you see the video that I did when we were down at the Wild Bad Weekend in Derbyshire last year, one of them fell off, as you can see on this wee video clip. At least this video will be a lot easier to edit. I'll only have to go through one camera now instead of having to go through two. These cameras, I all tend to run them, basically they're not 4K, they're basically 1080p is what I use, 1080p, 30 frames per second. And that works well for me. And how do I attach them onto my helmet, which is the place that they're used probably most? On the side of the helmet there's a mount here which takes the camera. The camera just slots in and clips in like so. That's really easy. Inside my helmet, this helmet is fitted with the Sena communication system, and with the Sena communication system it has a boom mic that comes out to work at the Sena, so I can get instructions up from my TomTom navigation, etc. But what I've done, I've also got another wee wire coming up the side here, and I've tacked in another little Rode lavalier mic, which is, so there's two microphones inside this wee bubble in here. And that cable basically goes back to the underside of the helmet, where there's a wee connection here attached by cable ties. So that's really where the microphone comes from. So this then allows me to just snap in that connection there from the camera. So that's really, really neat. And it's so simple to use as well. And again, it's pretty much waterproof as well. It's quite well protected, so even if it is raining, it's not really going to be affected by it, because this connection is all waterproof. So it's a good, clean system, and it's worked well for me for a long time. So that's basically what I use on my helmet. There's the wee one side-mounted camera, which I use all the time. And I tend to have the second camera probably mounted up on the handlebars of the bike, so that gives me a view from the bike, or I can position it in different locations on the bike wherever I've got different mounts. So that's pretty much what I use, these two cameras mainly. I started looking at potentially changing the cameras, because everybody's used GoPros and mainly GoPro cameras, and I've kind of shied away from them in the past. I've had quite good results from the wee drift cameras over the years. They're not perfect by any means, but there's no action camera out there that is perfect as far as I can see. They all have their own issues, and GoPros seemingly have plenty as well, between overheating and. But the biggest thing with GoPros, as far as I'm concerned, is the poor battery life. I mean, the batteries just don't last any time at all. You've constantly got to take extra batteries with you, and constantly having to change them during the day. There's no way you could go out and run for 7 hours and record continuously with a GoPro. It would be impossible. You have to take about 6 or 7 batteries with you. Plus, to get a connection into the helmet like I have, you've got to add on the media mods and stuff like that and all the bits, and it's a real huge extra cost. So I've looked and I've wondered, will I go GoPro, or will I not go GoPro? So I've basically, I have bought, recently I did buy 2 brand new cameras, and you probably won't be surprised by the result. They are another 2 drift cameras. But these ones are now the Ghost XL Pro. And again, this has an internal battery, which again should last about 7 hours, exactly the same as the XLs. But what the main difference between these ones is, although the controls and the wee screen at the back, they're all very, very similar. The main difference is these ones have a Sony sensor inside, so the image quality should be improved over the XL. Plus, these can run at 4K as well, and they also run higher frame rates. But I don't really want to go the 4K route, for various reasons. One, the 4K, when you run 4K, the cameras tend to heat up an awful lot more because they're having to work much harder. Also, when it comes back to editing, once you've got a whole load of 4K file, the file sizes are massive, and the processing power that you need to actually run them is just huge. So if you come back with footage from multiple cameras and trying to download all this 4K data and trying to put it into an editor, it's just a nightmare. Plus, my big television at home, it's 1080p, and I'm quite happy with that. So these I'll still be using these at 1080p, but I can actually run them at 1080p in 60 frames per second, or even 120 frames per second. And the beauty of that is, if you want to try and slow down some shots, that you can do it, and you have really clear, slower motion, which the XL will not do. The XL will only go to 1080p and 30 frames per second. So running these, which I'm going to intend to use initially is at 64 frames per second, and with the improved quality from the Sony sensor, I'm hoping that the image quality coming out of these will be much improved. I've not really had a great chance to try them yet, to be honest, so that's going to be hopefully done in the next few weeks when I get one day when the weather's actually decent. I can get out and try them on the bike. My plan is to go out on the bike and take 3 cameras. I'll take the one Pro. Oh, there's another thing that I forgot to mention. These can also have image stabilization in them, which the XLs do not have. So that's basically the 3 features: image stabilization, higher frame rate, and the Sony sensor. That is the 3 big things as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go out and do a wee trial. I'll run with the Pro on the helmet, I'll run with a Pro, and I'll run with that one with using image stabilization. I'll use this one with image stabilization switched off, and I'll run with an XL on the handle as well on the front of the bike at exactly the same time. I'll mount two cameras on the handlebars, and they'll all have exactly the same settings in the software to make so they're all running exactly the same, other than this one will be running image stabilization. So then I can actually have a great comparison in the video, so you can be able to see side by side exactly what the cameras are putting out and see if they're going to work, if they're going to be better or not, and if the image stabilization is better than non-stabilization. So that's my camera. That's what I'm set up. That's what I'm going to use. Another great feature of these cameras is the fact that you can actually have a master control camera, which can switch the cameras off and on, which I'll demonstrate. So at the moment they're all switched on and they will all just record. You can set one to record, set another to record, etc. So basically what you can do is you can put these into clone mode, where these are all switched on, but you can make one the master and the rest, other 3 are slaves. So you can basically have 4 cameras set up on your bike, and potentially this one on the handlebars or on your helmet. And if you switch this one on to record, they all start recording at the same time, like so. They're all coming on, all 4 of them. And basically if you stop recording, they all stop recording at the same time, which is great if you're riding along, and if you're trying to edit and you want to have them all synced up so they all cut off and on at the same time. It's really excellent. So that's one nice thing about these cameras, is the clone mode. It's a wee bit fiddly setting them up, but once they're set up, you could run with these all day. The downside is that it uses Wi-Fi to talk to between the cameras. So obviously that Wi-Fi has an extra draw on the battery, so your battery life will not be as great as if you're not using the clone mode, because you're not using the Wi-Fi to talk between each camera. But it's a nice wee function using the clone mode. So that's basically my cameras, which I'll be using primarily this year is the 2 Pros. That's what they're going to be the 2 cameras I'm going to use. I'll have these 2 potentially as wee backups, or maybe a wee add-on camera. So hopefully these new cameras will give some improved footage. So what else do I use when I'm out filming? One wee addition, a wee thing that I made myself basically, was this wee unit here, which was just a wee bar which you can mount on. And the idea being, I use this wee mini tripod. I'll take it off the phone just now. I can if you're out filming one day and you want to have one of these classic drive-by shots, you can just stick this wee bar out at the side of the road and snap a couple of cameras onto it, like so. So you could have this drive-by shot and both cameras are picking you up as you're coming towards it and picking you up as you drive past. Using a tripod, and one thing I bought this year was this wee tripod. I use that in the garage. You've probably seen it in the videos a lot when I'm recording, but it's so compact and so small. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this wee tripod. And again, you could set up the tripod. Again, it's a really fantastic little camera stand. And again, you could, if you're out and you wanted a drive-by shot, on this bar, you could set it up quick. And again, being on the tripod, you can have it much taller because these legs all extend out and it gets kind of a proper height tripod, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I use this tripod a lot, especially in the garage, but it's great to take out with you if you want some really steady shots. And it's so compact the way it folds up. It's just brilliant. There's this beauty, which I take with me as well from time to time. This is my trusted drone, which I've had for a few years. I don't use it very often, to be honest, but because it's a bit of a faff to set up. It's a Mavic Air little drone. Another wee bag. Basically has the controller for the drone, which your phone basically clips in here, and to use it to operate it. The last piece of kit which I bought a few months ago is this, which is a DJI Pocket 2, which is a little gimbal. I've had some gimbals in the past, and I've quite enjoyed using. I like what you can get from them, but they were a faff to use. You having to attach your phone to it all the time, and they were a bit clumsy, and they didn't always work very well. And I toyed with this for a long time, and I got a pretty good price because there's a new Mavic, a new Pocket 3 have just came out, so this one was actually reduced in price. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for that. And I've watched another YouTuber, Helmet Head, who is trying to do a world tour on a Honda monkey bike. I think his videos are really good. And he uses one of these a lot, and he gets great results from it. And it's a fantastic little bit of kit. It's just absolutely brilliant. It just switches on. No, I don't have to switch. You attach any phone to it or anything. One wee button and it's on, and it's sitting there now. It's now recording me. It's locked onto my face, so you can go along and talk. I used this one walking in from the garage as the introduction to this video. Hopefully that came out. Or you can just flick it away and it will go the opposite direction. You can do so much with it, and it's a really nifty little gimbal. It really is good. And it's so easy to use. It's so small, it'll go into your pocket. It's just brilliant. Absolutely. I really enjoy using this, and I'm hoping to use that an awful lot more. But it can do even more than that. The kit comprises of this other wee adapter which goes on the bottom. And what that does is it can talk to this radio transmitter as well. It even has its own wee mini tripod as well, which is quite brilliant. And basically have it just sitting on a table or something. So if you're out somewhere and you're trying to do a little blog and you're sitting there maybe chatting away. So yeah, I'm hoping to use this a lot more in my videos as well when you're out and about, because it's just so easy to use. It really is great. So that pretty much sums up my little arsenal of camera gear, which potentially, if I'm out and about filming, is the sort of thing that I'll be taking with me and using from time to time. Yeah, but this old system works for me. It may not work for everybody. I quite like the drift system. I've had good results from it. It's not perfect, but no system is perfect, as I say. I have no affiliation with drift. All the camera, in fact, every bit of camera gear that I've got here, I bought and paid for myself. I have no sponsorship from anybody. I have no affiliation with anybody. I don't have to say your kit's good or bad. But I do know of a discount code for drift if anybody is interested in buying drift cameras, which I'll put into the video description. and it was giving 20% the last time I looked at it, which wasn't quite fairly recently. So it might still be working. So if it's still working, I will put it in the video description. If it's not working anymore, I won't bother. But anyway, I just thought I would bring you up to speed on what's involved in video vlogging when you're out on the road and you're trying to be quite creative. There's a lot more to it that goes on in the background. And this doesn't even cover the video editing side of the game. It's another ball game as well, which I might actually cover in another video to explain how I make my videos. Anyway, but hopefully you'll found some of this quite interesting, and it's passed some time enough of a wet day when I can't get out on the bike. So for now, take care, ride safe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.